What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Victor here, and today we're talking about something that most fans are completely overlooking, but trust me, this matters more than you think. While everyone is focused on free agency rumors, draft boards, and whether this roster can keep the dynasty alive in 2026, Brett Veach is already cooking behind the scenes. The Chiefs just made a quiet move. No flashy headlines, no superstar names, but these are the exact type of signings that championship teams make. 4 overlooked players, 4 second chances, 1 opportunity to crack the 2026 roster. And one of these guys, I truly believe could surprise Chiefs Kingdom. But before we break down each player, their fit, and what this really means for the roster, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button. Subscribe to Chiefs Nation Update. We're a brand new channel and we're pushing hard to hit our first goal of 10 subscribers. If you're Chiefs Kingdom, help support the grind. Alright, let's get into it. Why these moves matter. On Monday, January 5th, as the offseason officially began, the Chiefs announced multiple roster moves. 4 reserve futures contracts signed. DB Tanner McAllister released. QB Shane Buechel placed on waivers. Now, let's be real. These aren't moves that dominate ESPN, but this is classic Brett Veach roster building. Every offseason, Veach attacks the margins of the roster. He creates competition, especially at positions where depth, youth, and athletic upside matter. And if you look at Chiefs history, guys like Charvarius Ward, Mike Dana, Isaiah Pacheco, this team has a track record of finding value where other teams didn't. So let's break down each of the 4 signings and talk honestly about their chances. Cam Arnold, linebacker. Let's start with Cam Arnold, because this one is fascinating. Arnold is a former defensive back-turned-linebacker from Boston College. That transition alone tells you a lot. Coverage ability, speed, versatility, 227 pounds, elite athletic testing. Pre-draft injury shortened his final college season. He went undrafted in 2025, had a preseason shot with Washington and got released. But here's the thing. This Chiefs defense loves linebackers who can run. With offenses spreading the field more than ever, Kansas City values sideline-to-sideline speed coverage skills against tight ends and backs, special teams versatility. Arnold fits that mold perfectly. Is he undersized? Yes. Is he raw? Absolutely. But if he stays healthy, I wouldn't be shocked if he becomes a special teams contributor, a camp standout, a dark horse LB4, LB5. This is a classic Chiefs developmental bet. Marcus Harris, defensive line. Now let's talk about Marcus Harris, because this is where things get interesting. Harris came out of Auburn, and in his final college season he posted 11.5 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks. That's real production in the SEC. He was a 7th-round pick by the Texans in 2024, bounced around a bit, Texans, Bills, Patriots, but hasn't stuck. Why? Consistency, technique, development. But let me say this clearly. The Chiefs' defensive line rotation creates opportunity. Kansas City rotates heavily up front. They ask linemen to play fast, be disruptive, win in short bursts. If Harris can refine his pass rush plan and hold up against the run, this is a legit training camp battle spot. I'm not saying he's a lock, far from it, but the tools are there, and Steve Spagnuolo loves moldable athletes. Jimmy Holiday, wide receiver. Alright, Chiefs Kingdom. This might be my favorite signing of the 4. Jimmy Holiday. Undrafted out of Louisiana Tech, Holiday surprised everyone last preseason. He earned a practice squad spot, bounced briefly to Buffalo, then came back. And here's what matters most to me. Week 18. Roster elevation, trusted enough to play meaningful snaps, consistently impressed coaches in practice. That tells you something. This Chiefs wide receiver room has been inconsistent young, still searching for identity beyond the stars. Holiday isn't flashy, but he's reliable, hardworking, familiar with the system. With a full offseason, OTAs, and training camp, he has a real chance to be this year's surprise WR storyline. Don't sleep on him. Matt Waletzko, offensive tackle. Finally, let's talk about Matt Waletzko, a 5th-round pick in 2022, massive frame, small school prospect from North Dakota. His career so far? Cowboys, Vikings, injuries, practice squads. But when offensive line injuries piled up late in the season, the Chiefs called. That alone matters. Kansas City clearly saw something they liked. Size, length, developmental upside, offensive tackle depth is always valuable, especially protecting Patrick Mahomes. Willetsko isn't a starter, not right now, but as a swing tackle project, he makes sense. And if Andy Heck can get his hands on him, never say never. So Chiefs Kingdom, let me ask you, which of these four has the best chance to make the 2026 roster? Who are you most excited to watch in camp? Drop your takes in the comments. I read every single one. This is how dynasties stay alive, not just stars, but depth, development, and competition. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe to Chiefs Nation Update. Help us hit 10 subscribers. We're just getting started. This is Victor. This is Chiefs Kingdom, and I'll see you in the next one.